Hey guys, my name is Andrew Townsend.
And I'm Brie Savage.
We're with eLearning Brothers. This video is a recording of our webinar, Analyze Your Learners with Rapid Game Development. Before we get started, I wanted to let you know that we're giving away 15 iPads in December. That's one for every business day in the first 3 weeks.
You can learn more about that in the description down below. Thanks so much and enjoy the presentation.
Hello everyone, welcome to our webinar. My name is Andrew Townsend, I'm with eLearning Brothers. Today we're going to be talking about how you can analyze your learners with rapid game development. This webinar will be recorded and we will get it sent out to everybody who is in attendance. There's a question about getting the slide deck after. There's not going to be a slide deck, so you won't be getting that. We encourage you to visit elearningbrothers.com to find all of the other information that our guest will be talking about today. If you have questions during the webinar, as some of you already have, please go ahead and use that questions panel and we will bring up those questions to our presenter and answer them as we can. Just so you know, one of the things that we like to do after the webinar is reach out and see if anybody needs some one-on-one clarification about our webinar topics after the fact. So just know about that. Also, we're going to be giving everyone that's in attendance a free eLearning Brothers account if you don't already have one, so you can be checking your email for that. It's a little gift from us to you. Also, we are giving away 15 iPads in December. We've already given away 3, so that means there's still 12 out there for you to claim, and I'll tell you more about that at the end as well. All right, so to talk to us about rapid game development and analyzing your learners, we have Brie Savage, one of our amazing account managers with us today. Thanks for joining us, Brie. We're excited to hear what you have to share. And without further ado, I'm going to go ahead and turn the screen and time over to you, Brie.
Hello everybody, I hope you're all doing well. Just gotta get my screen figured out. Is it showing?
Yep, looks great.
All right, well, as the title mentions, we're going to be talking about gamification overall, which is the training arcade games. Whether you have heard about it or you just don't know, or you know the title, or you haven't heard about it and you just want to get more information, then that's what this webinar is about, just to kind of go over the information about the training arcade and analyzing your viewer base. Because when I talked to people about the training arcade, they had a good point when it comes to it's a great way just to see the whole knowledge base of your learners before you actually start your e-learning course. And that's in the sense of because there's analytics and whatnot. And so I'll be able to demo probably at least 1 or 2 games over here and show you around and everything. But just as a start with everything, with the training arcade, which I guess you can see on my screen over here, is so you just create, play, and you win. That's the main points when it comes to this. It's an online builder where you don't need to have anything installed to your computer, or you don't even have to have something that's different than any of your e-learning tools. It's all online, and it's really rapid in the sense of you can build a game in 30 minutes or less if you already have your content. And so if you can imagine arcade-like games, like if you're familiar with the names like Bejeweled or Candy Crush, or I think there's a game called like Jumpin, or I can't even remember what it was called, like the other branded names. But just imagine those kind of games, but you're also learning at the same time. And so that's what the game agency is about, is you're having all these fun, engaging learning. People are, they're having fun being, just playing games, but they're also learning, answering certain questions to get incentivized to have more points, and so on. And so with the online builder, there's a back end of analytics, which you can find it here. And so this is like the whole page of where the builder is and the analytics and everything, where you keep track of everybody's scores and so on. And so if I were to make a game, at the very top of the page over here is the analytics for any of the titles that you build. With the game agency, there are 7 or soon to be 8, I think, base games that you can build throughout the year, just depending on what you access. And so with, like, let's say there's a jump game title where you're little guy, you're jumping on different platforms and you're answering questions. Questions you get right, you get boost upwards and gives you more points and whatnot. You can make as many different instances of it as you can. And so there's different titles that you can find here just to find the analytics. So for here, I'm clicking on Jump for the Holidays. So this is a game I built a year ago. and you can see the amount of people played it. Not too many played it because I didn't really send it off to too many people, but it tells you there are 7 people who played it in total. The highest score was this person, how many total sessions there are, and everything, and then it gets down to the nitty-gritty of each player. So if you can see how each person, how many times they played it and their scores and the average session types and everything, if you do want to keep track of each individual, whether that's something that you do care about, or if not, if you just really want to know the average knowledge base, you can scroll down the analytics and actually see the question stats. And so if this is a good way to, as I mentioned earlier, takes 30 minutes to send a game or to build a game. And so when you build a game and enter in your content or your topics of just whatever information you want to know, or send off to your employees or whoever you're training on, you can send it off to them, they can play the game, and then the analytics will show up here. And so you can see the average knowledge base up here. So like for this question, it looks like most people know if we should be eating mistletoes or not. But if you go down here, only half and half people know exactly what Mrs. Claus's first name is. And so maybe because not too many people know, maybe I can spend my next time or my next e-learning project to teach on Mrs. Claus, who she is and what her names
question,
are. Yeah.
What is Mrs. Claus's first name? I'm one of those people that doesn't know.
Yeah. It's, I'll have to double check and I can show you. So also a nice thing too is that this is live. And so if you were to get a question wrong or the answer is wrong and somebody points it out, you can go to back here where the games are. So you just click this drop down on the titles, go to the, let's see, where's Jump for the Holidays? So you click on here, you go to the questions that you've already made and so on, and you can update it. The moment you click save, it's already good to go. 2 seconds later, somebody's playing the game, it's already updated. So that's really nice. So Mrs. Claus's first name, I put a picture there. So if somebody were to play the game, there's a picture that pops up for that. And you can also do audio music to add to it if you want to. But normally the training arcade games already have music playing in the background. So here, these are her names: Mary, Jessica, Layla, and Martha. So if somebody didn't click all 4 of these options that were correct, then it's considered where they didn't get the answer right. But if I found out later that Layla isn't her name, I can uncheck this, click save, and then the next time somebody plays it 2 seconds later, then it will be updated.
So somebody pointed out in the comments
Yeah.
that their understanding is that Jessica is indeed the first name. I always thought it was Mary.
I looked it up.
And it's all of
like
these.
It was just like all these different points of views from different locations, I think. I don't know, it was a year ago that I built it, and so I just saw that she had different names, and it could be varying on region as well. So
sure,
who knows if I'm wrong or if I'm right, or if I end up knowing that I'm wrong, then I will update this for you, and you can play my game 2 seconds later, and then it'll be right.
Very cool.
Just let me know if it's wrong. And then so on. And so this is the overall builder. I put 10 questions originally. If you want to add more, you can add as many different questions as you want within the game. So you can just add, and so on. You can make it 20, you can make it 100, whatever. And there's also different game types. But before actually getting into the actual building of a game, I want to demo at least 1 or 2, just to have some time doing that. And so if you, Andrew, could do a poll on game titles. Hopefully you understand what the titles mean, but just whatever is sounds appealing to demo, we can click on it.
All right, so those are up on the screen. Go ahead and click on which one you want to know. There's jump, trivia, scenarios, match. If we're lucky, we'll get to the top 2 votes, but go ahead and click on those and let us know which one you want to see in this demo. If you want to see other ones, you can give us a call afterwards, and we're happy to show you off the other ones. I'll give you guys about 5 more seconds to vote. All right, 2, 1, and here's those results. 54% wants to see scenarios, and then jump and trivia are tied in second, and then match.
Sounds good. Scenarios is always a popular one, which I actually think is really cool. I was pretty impressed. It's one of the newer ones that the game agency built, and so it's really Neat. So this is what it looks like on the front end. All of this is already pre-designed. So when it comes to building it, you just enter in your content. And then scenarios is a little bit more different compared to the other games because you have to create different branching things going on. And then I can show you that too. But normally it's like if it's like the jump game or something, you just input your questions and then you're good. But with scenarios, it's a little bit more complicated because you do have to do like different branches. So start game. First thing is registration. You can either require that or not require that, whether it just be your initials. Usually the email is required because that's the best way just to keep track of everybody. Because if there's like one person who plays this game 5 different times, it at least keeps track of them as the same person for 5 different times instead of them being 5 different people. So registration, yes or no, you can choose that option when you are building it. So this is a little tutorial. So this is, all of these are going to be videos. And so it's going to play multiple videos. It'll play a video. And then afterwards, you have to do some sort of question or answer certain questions on how to respond to that. And then whether you get it right or wrong, then it will branch off to be a certain reaction. So watch videos and read material to learn important details about the training. Next. Answer questions to proceed through scenarios. Every answer may lead to a unique path within the story, so pay attention. Next, be thoughtful because point values can be different based on your path, the path you choose. Completing the full scenario, you play again and explore different outcomes. So continue. This is actually going to be a hard one because you don't have my audio, do you, Andrew?
Sorry.
That's a shame.
So
it's going to be a doctor. She's saying, hi, and I'm introducing myself on my product. So she's like, sorry, I don't have much time right now. Could I talk to you later? Just like send me documents. And then you're just trying to pique her interest. So sorry about that. That's a hard one to do if you can't hear the video. But if you do want to actually hear the video, I can send you links. You can talk to me afterwards. So she's just like pushing you away. And so what's the most effective response? But I think our drug is something Dr. Raymond would be really interested in. That seems kind of selfish, so I probably won't click on that. That makes sense. I just need a moment to talk about our newest drug. That's fine in that case, what works for you in your pain management wing, or no problem, we have tools to help inform your decisions. May I have a minute? And then you just click on whatever you think is right or wrong. I'll just try this one. Sweet. I just kind of memorized that. And then she says, okay, I'll give you a moment. What is it you want to talk about? At least I'm hoping that's what she's saying. And so on. And so it's just like a way of just saying, okay, I'm trying to pique her interest, introduce her to my product. And again, you can do different scenarios too, where like however you want to introduce your content and however, if I get something wrong, like which question would be most likely to move the conversation? Have you ever considered our drug, this name? Or how do you determine the best treatment plans for each patient, or is Dr. Raymond available? It may be best if everybody's present. If I click on this, I know it's going to be wrong because that takes a lot of time. There is a timeline here, so you can require to have questions be timed or not. That's definitely up to you on how fast you have to answer it. So I'll click on this. I got it wrong. And then now she's going to be like resistant. She's like, no, that's not how it's going to work. She's like, nope. And so on. And so it just branches off different ways, whether you get things right. The more you get right, the better the conversation will go on. The more things you get wrong, the more she's going to push you away. So that's how it's going to work. Getting down to the game builder, I wonder if I can skip through it. I think there's different, I'm not sure how far this is because the game agency actually built this demo. But again, I can take the time to further go through it. And if you do want to hear the audio, then I'll be the person that I can send this over to so you can actually interact with it because it's different with you interacting versus me just showing it to you. So I hope that makes sense. When it comes to scenarios, just like different things can happen and then you can branch it off however you want to. And so getting down to that builder, if I were to make a game for scenarios, just to show you that difference between it being branching. So these are the different games titles here. So far there's 7 that are completed. They're still working on Jeopardy, which will be out soon, I think. We have yet to hear from the game agency on that part. And it will be more extensive. They're putting a lot of work to it, so they're really excited, and I'm excited to see it too. But scenarios, click on that. So this is what it looks like to build a game. Everything is self-explanatory, so whatever you want to name your game, like for that previous one that I showed you, Jump for the Holidays, I just called it that, but you can name it whatever. So if I just type it ABC or ABC, once I click enter, then it comes up with a URL link. And so when it comes to the game agency or the games overall, either you can have it as a URL or you can upload it as a SCORM package. So you get those two options. So as long as somebody has that URL link, then they can play it immediately, whether it's on their computer or on mobile, and so on. Default language, English, and then they're trying to add a lot more too. So if you do want different languages, then you have those options. And then default timer. So you just go through the questions, answer them however you need to on how you want the game to function and whatnot. Percent of questions answered correctly you're required to pass. So if you want it to be 80% or if you don't want any percent to pass, then definitely up to you. Do you want the tutorial? So at the beginning of scenarios, there was that tutorial on how to play it. If you want to require that, then click yes. And every time that somebody will play that game, that tutorial will show up, and then you can easily skip through it, or you don't have to put it there, and so on. And then registration is there too. And then again, you just scroll through it. These are the themes. The themes stay as is. If you do want to ever customize a theme or how the game actually looks, then the game agency actually can do custom work for that too. But for now, this is like the main product side of things. That's just like as is. Background audio track, there will be background music. You just can't hear it because you can't hear my audio, Andrew.
Not my fault.
You can also add your logo, whether it just be your image, or you can just do a text. So if I type in eLearning Brothers, whoops, can't type, then it will just show up like that. Or you can just not put anything if you don't want to, and so on. And so when you get down to questions for scenarios, there's interstitials for the different things for each scenario, and then you add questions to that interstitial, and so on. So it's a little bit different. I'm still actually kind of learning it too, because this is the most recent one that they uploaded. But if you do have questions on how to actually put that together, then I can definitely get back to you about that. Because with webinars, it's kind of hard because I can't talk to you personally, and so on. And then when you add a question, either you have different choices on how to make it presented. So it's multiple choice or multiple select, image match, text input, or a poll. So you kind of get those variety of options to choose from. If I were to do multiple choice, you can choose up to 4 answers. And then you just click the correct one that you want, how many points people are getting for it. And then for the next question, it will ask you on what interstitial it can lead you to. So if this was the correct answer, then you lead it to like the first or second interstitial where it ends up being in a good situation. Or if you have an interstitial for a wrong scenario, then you can send it to that, if that makes sense. But yeah, I'm still learning it myself. And so that's just gaming or building a game there. You can also do feedback. So if you got a question right, there's feedback or just a little description saying, hey, you got this right because of this, or you got this incorrect because of this, and so on. And so it's just really easy. The moment you click on save, once you add all of your questions and everything, it's live and ready to go. And so let me go to the quick finished game real quick, just so you can see what it looks like to publish, because that one I wasn't ready to publish. So when you're ready, your content's in, you're ready to go, and you just want to get it published, either you can keep the game URL private or not private, definitely up to you. There's that URL again, so as long as I copy that and then I just paste it into my browser, I'm good to go and I can play it immediately. Or you can play it on mobile, it's mobile compatible too. Or let's close out of that. Or you have that SCORM files. So you can upload it to your LMS if you want to host it onto your LMS. So that's also an option. It's just the main thing when it comes to analytics, the main part of the analytics page will still be here, so you'll have to still keep track of it in here. which is, it hasn't been too much of a problem for a lot of people, but everybody is case by case. So if you do want to have certain questions when it comes to your LMS and keeping track of scores here, then again, I can help you out with that too afterwards. And I think, I'm trying to think, going back into the game builder with everything it being live, and you save it all, you do have the options to delete the games. It will give you a big no or like little X too. So just if you in case like click on delete, it will have a big danger zone there. So you don't have to like worry about accidentally deleting it and so on. If you want to, what was that second game that people wanted to look at?
Jump was up there. Jump and
so
match.
If you have more
both
time,
were
if you want to
tied.
check it out, Jump and match were tied. I'm going to do jump because I'm a little bit biased on that one. So jump into the finance. I actually don't know if I played their version of the jump game. So it gives you an okay, so jump into the finance. How well do you know your finance? Play this game and find out. I'm not too great at finances, so I'm probably going to get a lot of answers incorrect. And so on. So it gives you another how to play. Again, this is optional. So when you are in the game builder, you can do the how to play or you can skip that and just have people go straight to the game. So in this case, you use your left and right arrow keys to move back and forth, and you have to jump on platforms. And the main goal for this game is to get as high as possible. The higher you get, the more points you get, and so on. And I forgot to mention at the very end of all these games is there's a leaderboard too. So everybody, when they get to the game over screen, they can see who the top 10 players are. So that's also a good incentive for people to play more to get higher into the leaderboard, thus them playing more games, getting repetition, answering the same questions, and retaining the content. So I don't know if I'm speaking too fast. So you just move back and forth on your arrow keys. Again, you can do this on mobile too. I'm trying to answer on these yellow things because these are where the questions are going to pop up. There we go. So question 1, if I get this right, I'm going to get a boost upwards. That's giving me more points. If I get it wrong, then I just kind of lose my momentum and I have to pick up my feet again. So it's good to answer them correctly. So how can you build a good credit history? They inputted a picture here. I'm actually running out of time. So this is multiple select, it looks like. Establish other forms of credit like a checking account, debit card. Okay. Nice, I got it right. So because I got it right, I'm gonna get a boost upwards. Blast off. There we go. And if I got that wrong, then I would just have to just pick up my feet a little bit. So I'll try to get this one wrong. Liquidity is the availability of your money. I feel like that's true, so I'll put false. Okay, so incorrect. I got this wrong. I'm gonna not have a boost upwards. And it's kind of easy to pick up yourself back up, but the higher you get, the more less platforms there's going to be, so it gets a little bit harder as people progress, and so on. And there's also lives up here, which the moment you lose those extra lives, when you fall at the very bottom, that's when you lose it. And then once you fall at the bottom again and you don't have any more lives left, that's when you get the game over. So a question here, I'm just going to kind of skip it and then lose. Holy cow. There we go. Oh, shoot. Okay. Game over screen. So this is what people see when they are getting game over. So their final height, the highest score, how many questions they answered. So if you do have a requirement on what percentage they need to pass, then I'll have to play this game again because I've only gotten 6% complete. If I needed to get 80%, then I have a lot of work to do. Answer more questions and play the game more. Usually there's a leaderboard, but it looks like the game agency didn't do a leaderboard, and that's when you will see the top 10 players too. But again, I can show you all of that too if you have certain questions on how the leaderboard works, how the analytics work, or how the game building works as well. But I hope that all makes sense overall. But again, so as a conclusion for everything, just nice, engaging games for any age groups, just to have a good way for learning and having fun at the same time. Engagement just makes it so people can help with repetition because they're answering the same questions as they play the game multiple times, and then also retention for answering it because they answered it multiple times, and so on. And then at the very end, because of reviewing your learners as a whole, this is a good way just to build a 30-minute game, send it off to everybody, and then see what the knowledge base is, and kind of from there judge what you can build your next e-learning course on, or whatever training that you're trying to build. And so, yeah, so hopefully that helped a bit.
We've got a bunch of questions here, Brie. You don't get to leave that quick. Yeah, we got a bunch of questions. Okay, so Fernando asks, would the analytics work on our company's LMS? And how would I upload the course into an LMS?
So you download it as a SCORM package, so it goes to your computer, and then you upload it to your LMS. The LMS is limited when it keeps the track of the analytics. Like, I think it just keeps track of maybe the names and like the highest score. So for you to keep track of the actual analytics, you'll still have to log in on this page. It's just if you want people to only access the games and play them on your LMS, that's the option that you can choose when you download that SCORM package.
And then you can view those reports on your own on this site.
On your own here. You can also have, normally with the game agency, like you have a login for the admin. The admin can create and edit games. But if you want like a viewer only mode, where if you want somebody to see the analytics too, but you don't want them to build games, that's like a completely free login that they can get where they can see all that. You can also export an Excel sheet of the analytics if you want to. So you can export this, download to your computer, and you can upload it anywhere.
Excellent. Another question, does this application use Flash?
Flash, I think it's HTML5.
Yes, this is all HTML5. They don't do anything with Flash. Seeing as
Old school these days. They're trying to get further in the future.
Yep. There's one more question here, and if you guys have more questions, by all means, send them now. Otherwise, you can reach out to Brie afterwards. Can you make certain questions? I think I'm doing this right. Tell me if I'm reading this wrong. Can you make certain questions available early on in the game to make sure that they get asked first in like Jump?
So with the games, you can choose to randomize questions or have them in a row of how you built them. So it would be here, if I edit this game, randomize questions, yes or no. So if I choose no, then it will do question 1 first, question 2 next, and then question 3 next. So yeah, you can make it just linear instead of random.
Great. And a couple more questions have come in. Is there a way to keep proprietary info private? Nancy, are you saying like, do these games go public? If that's your question, let's answer that question. And Nancy, give me more clarification if that's wrong. But is there a way to make sure that these games are not public?
Yeah, you can make it private, or there's a registration. I should just stay on that same page. Let's see, Jump for the Holidays. Authorized users. If you want only a certain amount of people to access this, then you can either do authorized users, or when you do the publish file, you can make it private so nobody accesses it. It'd be kind of hard for like the public or anybody to access it if they don't know your URL link anyway. Unless like you had a coworker who sent this to their family, that would be the only way that they could play it, unless you do that authorization. So normally it's private in the sense of people have to have the link to play it, or because you can download it as a SCORM and people have to log into their LMS to play it too, then that's also can make it private too. But when it comes to the actual learner's information, it still stays here. I know like I could, if you have a more specific question for that, I can definitely help answer that for you, just to make sure that it does work with your organization's standards when it comes to privacy. But hopefully that answered it a little bit.
Another question here is, so when you upload the SCORM file into your LMS, and then it's giving the report, the full report here in this analytics dashboard, but it's giving just a little bit of information to the LMS, is it able to glean any information from the LMS? For example, user information like username, employee ID, or does it only take in what is put into it during the game?
Oh, that makes sense. I can check with the game agency just to double check for you, and then answer it for you. So if Andrew has your contact info, I can get back to you with that. But normally, like the question was if the LMS can pass it along to the game.
Yeah, pass information from the LMS into the game. I would imagine
it would just be what you put in the actual registration on the game. So if you do email address required, then it will show up there. I don't think the LMS does
pass information forward to the game.
But if you do want a employee ID, like again, I should stay on that page. Jump for the holidays. There's different user registration types. So if I go for here, you can do like phone number, you can do employee ID, you can either disable or require it if you do want that information on this end. But if you just only care about it being on like the LMS end, then you're fine with that. But so you have different options to choose when it comes to registration.
Excellent. We have one more question, but I'm going to take the screen back from you, Brie, if that's okay. Let's see. Let's make sure you guys are seeing what I put up here. Okay. Before I grab this last question, Brie, that's the right phone number, right? 801-854-5188?
Yes.
Okay. You had to think about that for a second. Say it in your mind. Okay.
Direct line.
So yes, if you have questions for Brie directly, that's her phone number, 801-854-5188. The last question is here. Can you talk to us about pricing for these games?
Yes, and I can't believe I even skipped that. So normally when it comes to games, it's an annual subscription. So you pay a one-time fee and you get 12 months access for it to be live and build as many games as you need to. Each individual game is $1,500 for a year. Although the game agency does have a current special, I'm not sure how long it's going to last. I think they might change it once Jeopardy does come out, which will probably be around the end or maybe end of January. So I'll have to get more information about that. But anyway, so if you want 7 games or are interested in at least like 3 or 4, it's best to get the 7-game bundle because you can get that for only $4,999. So instead of paying $10,000, you're paying for $5,000 for 7 games. So that's a great deal that they're having right now. But yeah, and I can also go further into options too if you reach out to me personally.
All right, great. So again, that's not per user. Not per person that you're sending it out.
It's for one admin. Any extra admins that you want to be able to edit or publish or change games, it's just an extra $500 per person. Sometimes people, they do like to have extra admins. Other people, they just dedicate one person to be an admin. And then the other people, if they do want to see the analytics, viewer only mode is free, which means they just can't change or edit or make new games. Hopefully that makes sense there. But yeah, so.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Brie. If you guys have more questions, you can leave those in the survey afterwards or reach out to Brie. The information is there on the screen, 801-854-5188. And then I promised you guys at the beginning I would tell you about the iPads. We are giving away 15 iPads in December. We've already given away 3, so there's only 12 left. We'll do another drawing this evening. So you can register to win an iPad by scheduling a demo. You can sign up for that at elearningbrothers.com/webinar iPad giveaway 2018. I'll also include a link of that in an email I'll send out to you guys later today. Thank you so much for joining us. Thanks, Brie, for this great webinar. It's been great and really fun to learn about the Training Arcade and these new games. We hope you guys will join us in our next webinar. See you next time.
Thanks for watching this recording of Analyze Your Learners with Rapid Game Development. Subscribe to our channel to get more awesome presentations, ideas, and e-learning videos that can help you become an e-learning rockstar.
If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like and leave your comments below. And don't forget, we're giving away 15 iPads in December. We're about halfway through this promotion, and it's not too late to sign up and still get a free iPad for the holidays.